Frog Film Room, episode 2 right now here, and we come to you from the TCU Basketball Film Room. We wanted to bring Coach back on this week too, especially coming off those 2 top 10 wins, Coach. I mean, you think about where your team is right now. You get the 9-point victory against Oklahoma. You get the 1-pointer against Houston. Great crowds here at Schollmeyer Arena. It's a lot of fun right now.
And then we're going to get to play Houston.
Exactly, Cincinnati, right.
Out
That's
there,
the way it is.
I mean, it's the Big 12.
Yep.
It's new teams, but just as good, maybe better. Who would have thought? Step up. I don't know if it's possible. But, yeah, great wins. 2 top 10 teams. Liked how we did it. Did it different ways. Yes. Second half, did it with offense against the Cougars, which you don't expect to do, and do it as efficiently as we did. But execution got a little smarter, recognized how they played, had to see it up close. Could only tell them so many times, but you got to get beat and destroyed by it, really, initially, first 8 minutes. But started figuring it out as the half went on. And then second half, we're 55% for the field, 4 from 3. And take care of the basketball. So really good. Made him change to zone defense, which we didn't have in the scouting report because they haven't played it in 2 years.
Wow.
So that tells you what we were doing.
Emmanuel Miller, I should say, goes for 27 points against Oklahoma and then comes back. And I thought the way he handled himself in that, because Houston was trying to take him out of the game, you could tell at times, and comes up with a big bucket at the end to win it.
Yeah, 5 assists, made some really good passes. He's really bought into the and really become like a playmaker, a facilitator, and not the no-look pass or the dribble. It's just the ball's not sticking with him. He's making the simple play, the quick decision, and that's what you have to be to play at the next level. I mean, they're not looking for the guy to come in and be LeBron. You want to be a guy that can play with LeBron or play with Desmond or play with Lillard. I mean, those, and he's become that guy that can probably guard well enough too to do it. But it's come a long way since 5-man in high school and at Texas A&M.
Our Texas Health Impact play of the game here, play of the day really, is the last play that Emmanuel Miller scores on. Avery Anderson finds him here on the cut. Walk us through that, because you were out of timeouts and you were really setting that play up from the sideline.
Yeah, no, we had called it out, and to be honest with you, they started zone first in the play, and then they went to man, and when they went back to man, that's when we adjusted and went to the play that we really had just put in the last week for these 2 games, and the action, and again, it was Avery penetrating, but not over penetrating, and that's where his improvement has come from mostly. He can get by people, but it doesn't look good to play against 2. And when you got 2 guarding you, 1 is open, and just trying to simply put it as easy to understand as possible, and you've done your job, and you don't need to do more than that. And that's what happened. So the ball, penetration, they went with Trey, that hesitation, a slight recovery. And then E-Man read the overplay and back cut and finished through contact.
Yes.
We had offensive rebounding on the weak side too there as well. What I liked about it is he got right back up, and how we got back defensively.
I was going to bring that up,
and loaded up, and their balance wasn't great, and we used the advantage of really having 4 coming against us versus our 5, and that's how Mike was able to steal the basketball, because we used those 5 defenders against their 4 guys.
Yeah, runs the clock out for another victory for the Horned Frogs against a top 10 against the Houston Cougars. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bearcats next up for TCU when Frog Film Room continues after this. We're going to get into Cincinnati shortly. I got to ask you this, Coach, because Old Trapper has us. They want us to learn more about Jamie Dixon. Last week we talked about the amazing acting career that you had, and we were exactly, very much so like De Niro. If you weren't coaching basketball, what would you be doing?
Coaching baseball?
Yeah, would you really?
I loved growing up. I loved baseball first. Baseball was my first sport. But basketball just kept running into baseball season, and the older and better I got, and it just kind of took care of itself. I think I love baseball, still love it.
But you would be involved in sports, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Because you're a numbers guy. You like to. You're.
I think a GM, front office guy, personnel. I love that aspect of it.
Playing
I
small ball,
think.
you do the Oakland A's thing. You try to put together a team with money ball.
Yeah. Well, we do that now.
Yeah, right. Just
Honestly,
about.
we
Just
do.
about.
I mean, you say analytics is what we use. Everybody talks about this recruiting and different things.
Yeah.
Be honest with you, I mean, rather than go watch a kid play in high school, we have 30 college games
Yep.
now to watch on film, the edits against college players. But more importantly, you have the analytics.
Yeah.
And you compare them, and you can put them. There's all kinds of formulas or logarithms where it shows how they would compete in your league.
Right.
And so we base a lot of it off that stuff. So I think so. I mean, but I did grow up in Hollywood, so probably, there's not many other options.
That's
to
right.
do there. So, but I luckily I've never had to figure it out.
Yeah. I thought you might say you'd be a stunt man.
Stunt man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could work. I mean, you kind of got to do anything out there, but I do have a pension for the
That's
Screen
right.
Actors Guild,
There
so
you
I
go.
got that going for me.
Real quick, let's talk about Cincinnati. Wes Miller's team. There's always been a toughness around Cincinnati, kind of a blue-collar town. Team sort of takes on that persona. This group's like that. They crash the boards, they rebound, they defend, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're well coached. I didn't know Wes Miller much, but we hung out, and then we got stuck at Rucker Park with pouring rain.
Right.
And they sent us back to fly back, and we were soaked, and so we hung out at the airport and got cleaned up. And but yeah, we've got to know each other. But he's a ball. He loves ball, and he's done a good job. And they went and got some players, and they've got support there. So they went and got some transfers, got them eligible, and. Had some good lawsuits going,
Yes.
and they're all in. I
Yeah.
mean, Cincinnati, they love basketball, man, and it's like it's quite a story. I mean, they're competing in the best basketball league, and they're where they believe they should be. But we played them a lot when I was at Pitt, and they were in the Big East for a little bit, and kind of how that played out. So. There was a kind of little rivalry. They call it like the River City rivalry.
Okay.
And try to make something out of it. I mean, we've tried a few of those things down here too.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, we have.
You can get creative.
Yeah, you got to. Whatever you can do, right? Yeah. Hey, let's hope this becomes a rivalry. TCU and Cincinnati, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
You can find
Fort
some.
Worth and Cincinnati. All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Frog Film Room. For Jamie Dixon and Brian Estridge, see you back here next week for another edition here on the TCU Athletics YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.
Old Trapper Beefs. Fake protein.
Guys, can we take a quick protein break? Protein City. I got my beans, my bars, my goos, my glumps, my fizz. I don't know what that one is, but you want in?
I'm good, man.
I think Goop was a bad choice.
Old Trapper. What's your beef?